Hello fellas, I am here with another deck profile. It's been a while. Uh, it's not particularly a fun deck profile for your opponents, but it is a fun one for you to play. So I am going to be showing off a sliver deck I have been building. Basically ever since I went to London, I want to say 2 weeks ago at this point, and I found a sliver precon from the most recent set, and it was 80 quid, 80, 90 quid instead of like 120, 130. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that. But then I played the precon as it was, the land base sucked, there was like some cards I'm like, I really wish that was in the precon. So I worked on it from scratch upward, well not from scratch, from the precon upwards, and I have built this. So to helm the deck, I have chosen obviously Sliver Overlord because there is no better Sliver to helm the deck. There's probably more fun ones like First Sliver, however Sliver Overlord is the most consistent and gets you into the fun stuff anyway. Like you're going to get your First Sliver off of him, you're going to get like your Sliver Legion, etc. But let's not go too much into that, we will go into the actual stuff we're running. And if you don't know what Sliver Overlord does, you can pay 3 mana of any colour and you can grab any sliver from your deck into your hand, or you can pay 3 mana and grab any sliver that is already on the battlefield and take it for yourself. That ability doesn't sound useful, but I will tell you with some of the cards I'm running, it does become useful. So we're going to go straight into it. So we're going to go. We are running for the only 2 non-sliver technically cards in the deck creature-wise. We have Titan of Litjara, which is a sliver when it enters, because you declare sliver. You draw equal to the amount of slivers you've got when it attacks or enters. It's very nice. Next we have Omo, Queen of Vesuva. This is a way to turn your opponent's stuff into slivers and to take them, while also being a way to make herself a sliver and she just becomes big and etc, etc. It's just nice that you can steal your opponent's slivers. Now, we're going to go into the actual slivers here. First ones we have are the mana dorks. We obviously have mana, weft, and gemhide. So these are ways to make it so your slivers can tap for mana. Then we go into what I like to call the keyword slivers. So we've got lifelink off of Siphon, we have death touch off of Venom, we have Sentinel that gives us vigilance, we have Fury that gives us double strike, we have Virulent that gives us poisonous, aka infect. We have Overlord, which gives us our indestructible. We have First Sliver that gives us our cascade. Obviously, if you don't know how slivers work, all of these keywords I've just said, including the mana dorks, they do that to every single sliver that you control. So when these are out, every sliver can tap for mana. When this one's out, every sliver cascades. When this is out, every sliver has indestructible, etc, etc. We carry on with haste enablers with Blur Sliver and Cloud Shredder. Cloud Shredder giving flying, which our Gale Rider also does, and our Pulmonic does. But Pulmonic also gives us the ability to put our slivers, when they die, to the top of our library instead of to the graveyard. So it's a way of recycling the slivers. So that is our keyword slivers. Next we have our, what I like to call unique slivers, as in they do things that I don't think any other sliver does and don't really relate to keywords. For example, we have technically lifelink off of Essence Sliver. We have Afflict off of Azotep that also gives us amass slivers too whenever a sliver dies. So that means we get a sliver token, sliver army token, which is quite nice. We then have Constricting Sliver, which is banishing lights a card whenever a sliver enters, including itself. Brood Sliver, if we deal combat damage with a sliver, we create that many sliver tokens equal to the amount of creatures that dealt damage. We have Crypt Sliver that gives all slivers regenerate essentially. We have Replicate Hatchery Sliver, which gives them all replicate, so you can pay their mana cost multiple times to create multiple copies of a sliver. We have Grave Mother, which gives them all Encore, which means we can pay their mana cost, bring them back as myriad tokens, and the original gets exiled. So for example, if I'm about to have a big turn and I have a hat like Gemhide in the grave, I can encore it back and just start doing things, or if I've got a brood I can make a bunch of sliver tokens, etc. We have Harmonic Sliver, which has whenever a sliver enters, you destroy an artifact or an enchantment. It is not a May, so this one can be dangerous to play when you have your enchantments and artifacts out, but it is what it is. We have Root Sliver, that gives them uncounterable. We have my favourite, which is Hibernation Sliver. You pay 2 life and add it back to your hand. This has really annoyed people at my locals, because they just find it hard to basically remove anything on my board because I do that. We have a Taunting Sliver that goads creatures whenever slivers come in. We have a Formcaster Sliver that deals 1 damage to an opponent or a creature whenever a sliver enters. We have Lava Belly that does 1 damage to target player or planeswalker, and I gain a life per sliver entering. We have Shifting Sliver, which makes it impossible to block slivers essentially, because only slivers can block slivers. We have Spiteful Sliver, which has, if a sliver is dealt damage, they deal that much to target player or planeswalker. We have Synapse Sliver, which allows us to draw a card when slivers do damage. Then we go into what I like to call the Protection Slivers. These are the slivers that will give you protection on your stuff. There's only 2 of them, but they already do quite a lot. We have Crystalline, which gives them Shroud, and we have Diffusion, which essentially gives them Ward 2. Very nice. Now that's not it for the slivers. We have a +1/+1 on Sinew, we have a +3/+3 on Might, and we have +1/+1 for every other sliver on Legion. Just a way to make your board stronger. Now, that's it for the slivers. We're now going to go into the slivers in the form of Morophon the Boundless, a changeling that gives us color, like all color cheaper on all of the slivers you cast. We have Realm Walker, which allows you to play slivers from the top of your library. We have Amoeboid Changeling, which is a searchable way to turn an opponent's card into a sliver and steal it. We have Changeling Outcast, which is a sliver that can is unblockable. We have I always forget his name. Unsettled Mariner, which is a sliver that gives ward again. Then we have Grave Shifter. Again, some of these cards I forget the name specifically. Grave Shifter is a sliver that allows you to return a card from your graveyard to your hand. We have Bark Form Harvester, which is a sliver that allows you to pay mana to put your slivers and whatnot back into your deck at the bottom. Don't forget, Overlord allows you to search, so essentially it's about 5 mana to re-add to your hand a sliver that died. Not too bad. Then we go into the non-creature cards. We'll go into the only non-creature sliver, which is obviously Crib Swap. It is a changeling spell. This is searchable with Overlord. This is cascadable off of with First Sliver. It's actually very funny. And then we go into the only other instant, which is for the Ancestors, which allows you to search for more slivers off the top of your library. Then we go into Ramp. We have 3 visits, Nature's Law, Farseek, and Cultivate. It's a Wooburg deck. You need to be getting into your colours, so it makes sense. Then we go into the board wipe of a Harsh Mercy. Basically, you declare Sliver with this, all your slivers survive, nothing else does. Very nice. Patriarch's Bidding. You basically grab all your slivers back if they all die, and a Distant Melody to do a bunch of card draw because of the amount of slivers you have. Now that's it for the sorceries and instants. Let's get into the artifacts. We also have the Soul Ring, the Arcane Signet, and the Chromatic Lantern, obviously. Then we have a Thrumming Hive Ball from the most recent set, Edge of Eternities. It has affinity for slivers, so it costs cheaper for every sliver you control. It creates 2 slivers every upkeep and gives them double strike and haste. Very good card. I had an opponent who had a Primal Vigor out at one point, and I was threatening to make 4 slivers with double strike haste every turn. Bear in mind, I already had a mana dork out as well, so it was just that alone was going to win me the game. Thankfully for them, they destroyed this before it came to my upkeep. We then have the things that make it cheaper. We have the Urza's Incubator and the Herald's Horn. We also have another mana dork, but only specifically for slivers, which does all but 2 creatures in the deck, which is obviously Pillar of Origins. And then if we're talking about our mana rocks, this one says playtest because I'm still waiting for this single card to arrive. It is one card, which is the Timeless Lotus. It is in the post. Really annoying it hasn't arrived yet. And then we also have the Coat of Arms, which basically does what Sliver Legion does, which is quite nice. And we finally have a Reflections of Littjara to just say slivers, cast a bunch of slivers, make copies of them, start going wide with big boys. Now we're going to go into the lands here, and the way we're going to do it is I'm going to separate the basics from the non-basics. With the basics, we'll go through those in a minute. So with the non-basics, you probably saw it in the corner for a while because I'm not very smart. We have obviously the Sliver Hive, which allows you to make a Sliver token on board and taps for any colour as long as you're casting a Sliver, and taps for colourless any other time. We have a Cavern of Souls, which allows you to make your Slivers uncounterable for that specific one. We have a Path of Ancestry, which means that you scry if you cast a Sliver with it. We have ourselves a Secluded Courtyard, that is every colour type for Slivers. We have an Unclaimed Territory, that's the exact same. We have obviously the Command Tower, we have the Exotic Orchard. Then one that I always run in WooBug if I can help it is always World Tree. Like, we're not going to get much off of the gods. I am thinking of running the Maskwood Nexus just for that ability though. But getting like a Chromatic Lantern as a land after 6 lands is very nice for a WooBug deck. So that's it for the utility lands, as I like to call them. Now we go into the just produces different types of mana. So we have the Triomes in the form of Jungle Shrine, Mystic Monastery, Frontier Brewvac, Seaside Citadel, Nomad Outpost, Sidestep Citadel, Arcane Sanctum, Opulent Palace. This is ways to get free mana pips. They come in tapped, but to be fair, you're usually casting your commander by turn 5 anyway, so the tapped doesn't usually matter that much. Then we go into the jewels. We have Canopy, we have Cinderglade, we have Smouldering Marsh, we have Sunken Hollow. Those are our jewels. And then we have an Evolving Wild, a Terramorphic Expanse, and a Cabaret Courtyard for fetchers, to fetch specific colours if we need them. So that's that. And then we go into the basics. We're running 1, 2, 3, 4 forest, 1, 2, 3, 4 plains. Then we are running 1, 2 swamp, 1, 2 island, 1, 2 mountain. Now it again, green and white seems to be prevalent, but if you actually look at the, because I'll put it in the description, if you look at the actual Moxfield list itself, it will show that actually green and white are the most prevalent colours in this deck. So having green and white accessibility at a slightly higher rate makes sense for you to be able to cast the things in your hand more often. But I'll tell you now, this deck plays like a dream. It's very fun. You do get targeted just because it has the word sliver, but it is a very fun deck to pilot when you're not immediately ruined by your pod. But yeah, it's very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Once I've ordered everything I want from Edge of Eternities, I do have another deck list I want to do, but that deck already has I think it's 6 playtests in it currently, because I'm waiting for the stuff I'm ordering from that set and things I'm ordering because of that set. But I will probably do that deck profile soon-ish. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to need to give this a proper shuffle. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful time. And if you ever see a deck profile on my channel and you're like, oh, that looks fun, I wonder if he's updated it, always check the description. The Mox field will be there, and 9 times out of 10, I think there's like 1 or 2 I haven't done this for, but 9 times out of 10 I usually update the Mox field when I update the deck itself. So if you're wondering if I've made any changes to make it run a bit better for me, or if there's new support, that's where you'll find those changes. For example, I've just made massive changes to my Balin deck. So expensive changes, like the deck is like nearly £2,000 now. That's fun. Uh, but changes nonetheless. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta.